Michael, I think tonight we're going to talk about the importance of paying attention and watching the clock because we were sitting there talking and then all of a sudden I look and it's like, 20 seconds and we got to do a show. So I think that'll be the topic tonight.
Dan, I think the topic will be about the proper apparel to avoid sweating in specific areas that you don't want to sweat. Especially because it's going to be 108 on Friday here.
I know. What is wrong with you, by the way? Why are you bringing this to us?
Hey, believe me, I have nothing to do with it. I just report on it. If it were up to me, it'd be 65 every day.
That's what all the weathermans say. You're all lying to us. You're evil overlords.
We live in Satan's oven.
What? Oh, sorry.
So on that note, he's Mike, I am Dan, and we're in the blind and warm. This is the part in the blind when we dance. Yay. Welcome to In the Blind. I'm Dan, he's Mike. Beth is on the mic, ready to torture us. Be a very exciting evening with all of you. So welcome to everybody in the chat. Michael, are you ready to be tortured this evening?
Well, as ready as I possibly can be. I'm ready for the unknown. I guess as ready as you possibly could be for that.
I know a little more than I normally do, simply because Beth texted me a couple of hours ago and she's like, is it okay if tonight's topics are heavy? So that
Heavy.
might lead into watching the clock and proper attire in the heat. I don't know. So we might have gone to something, but
yeah,
let's find out. Are you ready?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
You have the easy job.
I do.
All right. So we go to topic one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bring it.
Okay. Over the weekend, Dan and I watched two movies that both dealt with the same historical movement. One was the newer film Nuremberg. The other was the classic Judgment at Nuremberg. Both films revolve around the Nuremberg trials, which took place after World War II. And something about that really stood out to me. Before those trials, the idea of an international court putting government leaders on trial for crimes against humanity essentially didn't exist. Historically, nations largely handled their own leaders and their own laws internally. But the Nuremberg trials introduced a new principle, that certain actions are so extreme that they violate basic human rights, regardless of whether a government claims they are legal. It also raised another question that's still debated today. If a government passes laws that allow persecution or violence against a certain group, does that make those actions legitimate? Or are there moral limits that exist above government authority? So here's the question. If a state claims the legal authority, to persecute or eliminate people based on ethnicity, religion, or beliefs, should international law have the right to step in and hold those leaders accountable?
That is heavy.
That is.
I told you.
And it's somewhat poignant as well to what's going on now.
Yes.
You want to get us started, Michael?
Sure. So the U.S. does this all the time in other countries. We frequently are meddling in the affairs of other nations with the under the guise of moral superiority. We do this a lot. I mean, this is maybe not on the level of Nuremberg, but this is something that goes on. Now, God forbid anybody ever do that to us for things that we do, because here in the U.S., we see ourselves as holier than thou, and we're better than everybody else, and everybody else is beneath us. But, we do some things that are not right as well. So the thing is is there ever a time where the international community should step in and say something is wrong? Yeah, they should. The problem is that who's going to do that? Who's going to be the international police? I mean, is it the UN? I mean, look, some things are just wrong, right? I mean, some things are just we all remember Tiananmen Square. Those of us that are old enough to remember what was going on there. We all remember. There's been a number of genocides and apartheid and all these other things that go on in these countries around the world, and for whatever reason, sometimes we step in and sometimes we don't, and there's many reasons that we do and or don't. So I don't know. There's obviously the morality does play into it. I mean, people dying is people dying. I mean, it's wrong when you see people being discriminated against or the ethnic cleansing or whatever it is. But it's sort of selective enforcement on our morality, I think.
Yeah. But the question is, should international law trump a country's set of laws? Is that basically the crux of it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can go in different directions. You often do. But
yeah. No, I'm trying to start with the basis of what you were getting at. And as a general rule, I would say no. I think the whole Hitler mess in World War II was a definite exception. But even then, I don't know what good it did, because there were backroom deals that were made, not only with Germany, but with Japan as well. And the real perpetrators of some of these horrific things, the vast majority of them got the equivalent to a slap on the wrist. The majority of them only served part of the time they were sentenced, and then they were cut loose. Some of the biggest names, of course, either disappeared or killed themselves or were hung.
Right.
But the vast majority of that machine was just pretty much cut loose. I mean, they went on and lived lives as politicians or tax professionals or businessmen of all sorts. A bunch of them came to America and worked for NASA.
Under guise that wasn't openly known to the American people at the time.
So there's a couple of problems with international laws. I see it. Number one, the states involved have to buy into it. I think there was some buy-in, at least as far as the public saw, with regards to what went on after World War II. But I think that buy-in was ultimately fake in a lot of ways because of the amount of backdoor deals and everything that were made, and people getting out early, people quietly being swept under the rug so they could go build, rockets for us and for the Soviet Union. So I don't know how effective it really is anyways. The thing is, we see this too here in the United States. If you think about it, things are most effective the more local that they are. So
right.
As you push them out, it's less and less likely to be obeyed, less and less likely to be appreciated. And honestly, the farthest it can push out is like an international set of rules, an international tribunal. And people break that stuff all the time. Like there's maritime laws. They break that stuff like crazy. I don't remember where we talked about this, but I feel like I did. Or maybe I just mentioned it to you, Beth. I don't know. But China, for example, with fishing right now, you can track the transponders on their boats, because all commercial ships are supposed to have these transponders now. And you can see as they get up to coastlines where it's no longer international waters, all of a sudden their transponders cut off for a few hours. And you can track this online.
Yeah.
They cut off for a few hours, and then all of a sudden a few hours later they come back. Well, I wonder what they were doing during that time. Were they obeying, international laws? Probably not. They were going to where the fish were. And unfortunately, that was off somebody's coast. So this might be me getting a little adrift of the major topic. It's just more to say that I don't know how effective at that range any kind of international rules really are anyways. Because
Well, they're not.
I mean, ultimately, all that's going to happen is the people in power are going to make their deals. They're going to get what they want. And, it's
right
for looks.
The U.S. blew up a boat in the Caribbean last September. We just blew it up under the guise of, yeah, well, they had drugs on the boat and it was coming to the U.S. Meanwhile, it was going to the Turks and Caicos. But they said, yeah, it was, but then it was going to come to the U.S. because, of course, on top of everything else, our government is now mind readers. And it was loaded with drugs. And of course, it's a violation of international law to do that. But we basically said, we kind of write our own laws here and we do whatever we want to do. And we got to stop the inflow of drugs because, of course, blowing up a boat in the middle of the Caribbean, that right there, that was the end of fentanyl as we know it. That was the end of meth and cocaine. That. And
our friend Joe would beg to differ. His business is still running pretty hot.
Yes,
so you remember you actually brought it up, Cocaine Bear. I actually saw when that happened. Somebody made a meme about fentanyl shark.
Yeah,
fentanyl shark. Because if those boats really were loaded with the drugs just released into the ocean, and obviously. Yeah.
So did they make a song Fenty Shark instead of Baby Shark?
Fenty Shark. Yeah.
It totally work.
Yeah. So I guess my point is that, we just basically said, yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? And the rest of the world, even though there was outrage and it made international headlines, it made national headlines. And we certainly had people in this country that were outraged by it, but nothing is going to come of it. Nobody's going to there's not going to be some international tribunal. And even if there is, what are they going to do? Come here, take people away? Not going to happen. So I guess it's one of those things. It's there could be international laws, but they have no teeth. So it's sort of pointless, really.
Well, that's the problem with so many laws. With any law, really, it's only effective if the people who are affected by it will buy into it.
It's only effective if it can be enforced.
Yeah,
if it can't be enforced, it's useless.
The moment the American people, as a majority, say that they no longer believe that the Constitution is the document that governs the United States, you might as well just set it on fire.
Yep. Because
it won't matter anymore. Nothing matters if there isn't the belief in it. And I don't think there's the belief in international law. It's off topic and I don't want to go down this road, but I would say that that there's less and less of a belief in federal law as well. That's eroding every single day. So,
it's very obvious.
It doesn't matter, what country X says. The only reason why it worked, quite honestly, after World War II is that the two parties involved, Japan and Germany, had been completely decimated. And they had no power to resist.
Yes.
That was the bottom line. With Japan, with Germany, because we just carpet bombed the bejesus out of it and just completely just took out their leadership and all of their ability to make war. And Japan, we destroyed two of their cities with a sun, and said, "Do you want to keep playing?
We have a star for you."
Yeah, we dropped a star from a plane twice. So, they ultimately, in both of those cases, they had no power. But even then, as I'd stated before, it didn't really matter because deals were made. Some just nasty things too. What was it in Japan? Was it Unit 741 or 721 or 7-something-1, where they did all of the evil experiments and all of that. We grabbed a bunch of those scientists too.
Yeah.
And brought them over because, we like knowledge. So.
Right. So, yeah, this is one of those things where, there's a lot of egregious things that go on in the world still today. And Japan, or rather China, is a huge violator of human rights.
The Uyghurs.
Yep. And I mean, I can't, Nigeria and many other countries in Africa have been at civil war for a long, long time. And there have been just countless people that have lost their lives due to all sorts of terrible things over there. And look, what are you going to do about it? I mean, the problem is the only time that we're going to really step in as an international community is in a situation where there's a commodity that can be exploited that the rest of the world needs. Now, sure, you can say in Africa, some of these countries, there's diamonds and such, but that doesn't really move the needle for the international community as much as oil or lithium or whatever. So that's when we start to care, and that's when we get all on our high horse and morality and all this. But if a country is so big and they may have nuclear weapons like China does, I guess we're willing to overlook it. If they're a big trade partner, our economy relies on them, we're willing to overlook that.
Oh, yeah,
and frankly,
deals again.
Yeah, and frankly, we sort of acknowledge it. Look, those sweatshops, do you think that there's international laws and there's a lot of morality that's followed in there? Of course not. And all of us are guilty of this to a degree because of this. For example, you think this is made with in a wholesome environment where all labor laws are followed, everything is done on the up and up. For those of you that listen to audio, I held up a cell phone. Do you think that, or your shoes or all of that? No, that's sweatshops. We all consume that. So it's one of those things where, we can look at Germany and we can look at Japan and we can look at concentration camps and we can say, man, that's just terrible. And of course we should have done something about that. But it's not like humanity got better since 1945.
No. So
it's just that, like you said, Dan, it's backroom deals. It's if it's a small enough country and we can just sort of step in and push them around and there won't be a lot of pushback on it, then maybe we'll do something. But other than that, we just kind of wag our finger and pretend and have this faux outrage. But meanwhile, we're like, hey, make sure you get us that oil. All right, thanks.
Uh-huh.
And that's how it works. And so, the question may be morality versus reality. I guess, we can all sort of be hypocrites, I guess, and say, it's terrible what goes on. But then, we buy those products. What are we going to do? Not buy from China? Not buy from corporations that exploit all this and that, that probably are doing things that themselves violate international law. I knew somebody once that would not buy from Procter & Gamble because they did not like their business practices. But, Procter & Gamble is like huge, so many products.
Half the market.
Yeah.
Right. So you're shutting yourself off right there. I've known other people that won't buy from certain companies because they don't like their financial practices or the way that, they're with their credit, their lines of credit and what they do or how they loop people in or all these other things. When you start to go down that road and you're going to boycott this and that because it violates international law or it violates morality, I mean, pretty soon you're not going to be able to do anything because very few businesses operate completely on the up and up, and very few countries operate on the up and up.
Yeah.
None of them do.
Well, I mean, really, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, every every organization, whether it's a business or a country or whatever, has its agenda, and that's part of the problem. The the fact that international law does not work should be the first proof that a one world government will never work. Um,
Right.
I was thinking this is a little bit off topic, but it kind of ties in a way. I was thinking earlier today about the concept of diversity and how we celebrate it and we want it. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have it, but I was thinking about it, and I think realistically, it also has its limits. I hear like the words infinite diversity in infinite ways. I've heard that said by multiple people on multiple occasions. And I don't know if it works because every group has their own agenda, their own needs, their own everything. And that creates conflict. And it's the same thing when it comes to international law. You've got country A, which is totally diverse from country B, and we're going to make a law that just governs what each of them do. It's just not practical.
Well, yeah, there's
Right.
a reason when everybody came over, before the war specifically, and settled like early 1900s, and prior to that, that they developed little villages, and there's still remnants of them, but the Chinese people lived amongst the Chinese people, and the Italians lived amongst the Italians. They stayed with, even though they came from another country, once they got here, they stayed with like-minded people that were exactly like them. And
Yeah.
there's a reason for that.
Chinatown, Little Italy, all
Exactly.
of that stuff. Yeah. Every group has their own needs, their own expectations, their own definition of morality, which kind of keeps any kind of international body from being overly effective. It just isn't going to work. Again, the only reason, in my opinion, that it worked with Germany and Japan is they were just completely decimated. They
Right.
had no choice at that point. And again, even then, what did it really matter? I
Yeah.
mean, they lopped off the heads of a couple of
Sure.
higher ups to make it look good, and everybody else went on about their day.
Yeah. We plucked some
Because
of the
there were
best
deals that
scientists
needed
out
to
of
be
there.
made.
Yep. And that's the other thing too, is I guess I look at this and I just sort of think all those kooks that used to talk about how we're going to be in a new world order, one world government. And I always think there's no way that would ever happen, because they're like, well, the richest people control, the richest people may control a lot of what goes on Earth. Yes. But don't think for a minute that they're all in perfect harmony, even with each other.
Oh, they're not.
Humans, the best and the worst part about humans is that we are competitive people. We undermine, we undercut each other. We're really kind of just bastards. And
Yeah.
we, at our core, I there's a lot of people that are good people, but if given the opportunity, many people will ultimately undercut each other. Now, you can look at that and say, Mike, that's really cynical. That's really dark. How can you say that? But on the other hand, history shows us that that's true. And it also shows us why we could never have a government that spans the entire world, because in theory, yeah, sure, we could. But what would happen is, maybe a leader from, maybe somebody from Romania is like, yeah, that's cool, man. But I want to make sure, like, if we're all distributing, let's say, widgets, I'd like to get a couple of extra widgets. You know what I mean, man? Can I get a couple extra? And then somebody from Italy's like, well, that guy's getting a couple extras. Why can't I get a couple extra? And then, Germany's like, I'd like an extra glass. Maybe some extra beer over here for Oktoberfest, because of us. And everybody wants their own thing, extra thing. And so people start undercutting each other. That's why something like that, and a one world government could never really work long term. And that's why those kooks and the Alex Jones types and all these guys that say that, that there's a cabal that's controlling everything, I kind of go, yes and no, because they're not even really in control of each other. We're under their thumb no matter who's in power. Yeah, us little plebeians, but it's never going to be this thing where we have a king of the world or something.
Yeah, that's not happening. I do see one possibility, and then we can move on to the next topic, of where we could unite globally, but only for military. 50 points if you can tell me what that one thing is.
An asteroid?
No. Nobody cares about an asteroid. Half the planet will still survive, sort of. An alien invasion.
Alien invasion.
If we have Independence Day, then maybe. But then only militarily we'll still have our own little fiefdoms.
Yeah, but if we have Independence Day, all it's going to take is somebody with a 1995 power book to be able to thwart a group of people that have mastered interstellar travel.
This is why we have to.
One of the dumbest concepts for a movie I've ever seen.
But this is why we have to preserve Jeff Goldblum at all costs.
Yes, only without the oops.
Just in case. All right. On that note, next topic.
Somehow you made that way lighter than I thought it would be. Okay.
Well, I'll try to end on a high note.
Okay, this is kind of sort of related again. I like when they fishtail together.
Dovetail.
Or fishtail.
Fishes don't tail, they just flap like this. Doves, however.
Okay.
Trust the woodworker. Trust
right.
the carpenter.
Okay.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah. Can I read now?
If you must.
Okay.
All right.
Something else that really stood out to me while watching those films is that the Nuremberg trials weren't just about holding a handful of top leaders accountable. It also exposed how many ordinary people had been part of the system that allowed those crimes to happen in the first place. Not just political leaders, but judges, doctors, bureaucrats, soldiers, and administrators. Many of them argued that they were simply doing their jobs, following orders, and operating within the laws of their country at the time. And that raises the deeper and more uncomfortable question about human behavior. When societies commit atrocities, it's rarely just a handful of leaders. It usually involves thousands or even millions of ordinary people who are willingly participating in the system in various ways. So the question, how do ordinary people end up participating in systems that cause enormous harm? And more importantly, would most societies recognize those warning signs before it's too late?
All right. I can start with this one if you don't mind, Michael.
Sure.
How can ordinary people participate in the system? That was your first point?
Yes.
Because that's what humans do every single day of their lives. And what was your second?
Would most societies recognize the warning signs before it's too late?
They might recognize it, but they'll completely ignore it. Are
you saying everyone like carte blanche, or are you saying just
well, nothing is absolute.
Yeah.
But I'm talking vast majority will bury their heads in the sand. They will go along to get along. They will do what is easy, not what is hard. And we see that every day in society, and it's getting worse. Look at the activists out there protesting this or that on either side. It doesn't matter. Walk up to them and ask them what's really going on. What are they there for? What are they really fighting about? They don't know. Yeah. So even people who put on the performance don't understand the play.
Yeah.
So, I don't see that anybody as a mass stands up against anything effectively, because it's just too doggone hard. It's easier to sit there and hope it goes away, worry about your little thing and all that. And yeah, you talk about the Nuremberg stuff that we watched this weekend, and you've got the people who were especially in the older movie, the one from 61, they highlighted this more, where they're bringing in citizens and they're talking to them and they're like, how did you not know this was going on? And they're like, we did not know. But then there were hints that, yeah, they knew.
Yeah.
They chose to ignore it because they didn't think that they were big enough or powerful enough to fight against it. They were worried about their own well-being. If they fight against it, what's going to happen? We've seen that, not to call out specific movements, but the kind of things I'm talking about. We've seen that here in the United States in the last decade, in Western society in the last decade, where something will come up and that it's not right. But if you speak out against it, you're the bad guy. So you keep your mouth shut, you bury your head in the sand. I will call out Christians. Christians have in many ways gone underground because they're being pushed around and persecuted in a lot of places and they don't want to fight back. They're just like, this will go away eventually. Meanwhile, the powers against them keep rising and getting worse.
Yeah.
Because fighting's hard. Standing up for what is right is hard. And most people just don't have the gumption to get it done. That's my thoughts to start with anyways. Michael?
Well, I mean, this is going on right now. I mean, Michelle always says we have sheep culture. Yeah. And beyond sheep culture, it's also, this goes back to tribal. Why are people able to get away with all sorts of crazy things? Because people are in their tribes, whether their tribes are sociological or political or whatever they are. If their guy does it, it's okay. If the other guy does the exact same thing, it's not okay.
Yep.
That's the problem that we have right now. I mean, this is what happens with just as an example, every war or military operation that goes on in this country. Afghanistan, Iraq, during the Bush administration, it was like, the Dems were like outraged. It's crazy. How do you do this? It's wrong. Yeah, there might have been a few on the other side that said it's wrong, but for the most part, it was right down the party lines. Then next, Obama comes in. It's like we're he's doing the drone strikes all over the place, and now, then the conservatives are like, he's just indiscriminately just attacking people. Meanwhile, their guy just did it, but it is absolute insane. A little bit of a lighter issue that I bring up a lot because I just thought of this morning, actually, while I was making my coffee. 25 years ago, when I started doing my live show, Democrats were all up in arms in states like New York and California about trans fats. And we have to be healthier. And, and the other side, the Republicans are like, a bunch of liberals. Oh, come on. You can't regulate what people are eating. Who cares if they have a 64-ounce tub of soda? Big friggin' deal. Who cares? Let people have their fries. And if they want to gorge on, we should have bigger sodas. Who cares? If people want to make that bad decision, let them. Well, fast forward 25 years later, then, Robert F. Kennedy comes in and now it's their guy. He's like, make America healthy again. Well, hey, the first thing he talks about is, the trans fats and all these processed foods and the high fructose corn syrup. That's bad. And we ought to cut down. And then the other side's like, wait, but shouldn't we be able to have a choice over what we eat? It's like they just did role reversals.
Yeah.
Now the Republicans are like, the government we need to make sure that we're careful about what people are eating. We have to, because everybody's so fat. It's like, look, you guys are both right and you're both wrong at the same time. It's amazing because you dig in and it's amazing. It puts you, this is why I don't ever put myself in one of these tribes, because it eventually you get put in the awkward position of having to defend something that just not that long ago you were opposed to because your guy, because your guy said it was wrong for you to be in favor of that. But then as soon as that, as soon as the power switches, then it's like, well, yeah, hey, I'm all for that now.
Power switches and internet switches. I just switched
I
this
know.
to our backup because we had a hiccup.
Yeah,
But that's why we have a backup here at the bunker. Well, you might have mentioned it when we blipped out there for a second, but we also used this example a couple of weeks ago with the jab, where one side was completely for it and the other
Operation
completely
Warp
against
Speed.
it. There's a power change, and then it completely flips. And all of a sudden, the Democrats are like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread and the hula hoop. And the Republicans are like, I'm not taking that thing.
Yeah, but it's like 5 months ago, you guys were all for it. Yeah, but because, well, I was safer then. Well, what? And then they have to come up with justifications that sound so stupid. They make absolutely no sense. So this is the problem. It is sheep culture. It's follower. It's tribal culture. And that's why I don't participate in it. It's one of those things where, I know I'm in the minority on this, but it's like you have to just evaluate things and make your decisions based upon this little thing called objectivity and facts, and not what leaders say.
You think anybody cares about objectivity and facts anymore,
Of course they don't. Because if they did, nobody would be an Arizona Cardinals fan. You know, nobody would.
Three left.
You know, it's amazing, Dan. It is amazing. And speaking of tribal stuff, sports is a great example of this. Let me ask you this, Dan. If you went to a restaurant, and this is a restaurant, this is like your place you want to go to, and you've been going there for a while, but now the service is lousy and the food sucks, and there might be a little bit of feces on the floor now and then, but you keep going there and you keep complaining about how bad it is, but you keep going there.
I can't get over the feces part.
Yeah, that got me out of it right there, but okay.
But you keep going there.
Because I'm not picturing rat turds, Michael. I'm picturing customers.
But you keep, maybe the people are crappy. Whatever.
The name of the restaurant's the Dine and Dump?
No, the name of the restaurant is insert the Chicago Cubs or the Arizona Cardinals or the Diamondbacks or whatever, the Minnesota Vikings, whatever team, they just keep serving you the same hot plate of garbage every single year, and you as a fan, you're just like, please give me more. By the way, this sucks. And it's like at some point, why are you a fan of something that sucks that bad when they make, for example, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Arizona Cardinals, teams with owners that just basically tell you, we're not going to make our product better. We don't give a crap about you. And it hasn't ever been good. The Pirates maybe 35 years ago, but I mean, for the most part, it's not good. It hasn't been good for decades, if at all. And yet you keep going back there saying, please, sir, may I have another? I don't get it. So if we're that tribal about something trivial like sports, I love sports, don't get me wrong, but I mean, if we're that tribal about that, we're dug in hard about being lied to by our sports owners. And yet we cope by saying, well, yeah, but next year it'll be better. We do the same thing with politics. Yeah, maybe Trump said this or Biden said that or Obama said this, but it's going to get better. Oh, we have to have a little short-term pain for long-term gain. I've been hearing that lately with the high gas prices. You people but 4 years ago when gas prices went up, it was like, oh, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. This guy has no idea what he's doing. It's the same thing with sports. It's the same thing elsewhere. It's people have this copium that they get on and they keep getting served. And government serves you the same crap like a restaurant, but you keep going back to it. You keep saying, oh, but these guys are better because they're my guys. because I don't know, you like the elephant or the, I don't know. I don't even know why you support them.
When the truth of it is, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
I was just going to say, they don't care about you. Like, they're billionaires and millionaires. They don't care.
No, the truth of it is they're not your guys either.
Right.
So if we go back to the Germany World War II example, one of the things that they keep questioning these people, like, you had to have known, and they all go, oh, Hitler did some good things. He promised us jobs, and he promised us, more money and better wages, and
right,
chicken in every pot, and all that.
Right.
Roosevelt. But so they would,
and it worked out for some of them.
Yeah,
but not all of them.
Sure.
Yeah, so they bought into the promise without actually doing the research. This is the problem: is that the majority of humanity is just fat and lazy. You don't want to put in the work. You just want to go, well, this is the way it's always been, so it is what it is. Like in the sports genre, for example, or the next guy will take care of it, or the next generation, they'll be smarter than us. They'll figure it out. They're more screwed than we were.
Yes.
It's just, it's unfortunately human nature to just bury your head in the sand or kick the can down the road or whatever saying you want to use to just justify laziness, which is really what it comes down to in the end for me, is people being lazy. They don't want to put in the work to figure out what's really going on, what could really improve their lives, what they need to do to be a part of that. That's a big one. There ain't nobody gonna do that.
And all they have to do, all they have to do is say a few lines or even a single line, and they don't even have to back up how they're going to do. I mean, read my lips, no new taxes. I'm going to lower your energy prices by 50% in the first year. Hey, we're not going to have any wars. Hey, under me, there's going to be total transparency. We've heard it all before. Just like in sports, Buddy Ryan, you got a winner in town. We're committed to winning. It's like, okay. And then you ask how they're going to do that, and it's crickets or it's platitudes. Well, because we're gritty and we're tough. They just use these buzzwords, and it's so frustrating. It's the corporate world, it's the sports world, it's the political world. It's your friend that says, "Hey, we should get together next weekend," and then it never happens because they're like, well, because Aunt Sue in Milwaukee called me and I had to talk to her for 20 minutes, and now I'm too tired to do anything for the rest of the weekend.
And in case that was a dig, Michael, against that dinner that we still wanted to do, we do need to do that, but you guys need to quit breaking bones first.
Yeah,
First of all, that was not. I would have said specifically, Dan. I would have pointed. I no. Besides, you don't have an Aunt Sue in Milwaukee, as far as I know.
No, not in Milwaukee. What's the one in Toledo?
Oh, yeah, it's not Milwaukee. Fortunately, there, yeah.
But I don't know. We might exchange her for the Aunt Sue in Milwaukee. It might be an upgrade.
It might be an upgrade.
Anyways,
it's just, this is how it is, though, Dan. Like, and that's the problem. And people get in on that, and I don't know why. I wish I understood the psychology of why people get behind, tribalists like this. And before anybody asks, "Oh, Mike, aren't you fans of teams that suck?" I'm like, well, yeah, but here's the thing about that. I don't sit there and blow the trumpet for them and go, "Hey, man, the Minnesota Twins are going to win the World Series this year." Like, come on. Do you think I'm stupid? Like, no, I look at it and go, nope, they're a terrible team. They're probably third place. I mean, maybe better than the White Sox, possibly the Royals. I mean, maybe. And that's a maybe. Like, I don't know. So that's the situation. I mean, you have to be objective, and that's just something that's sorely lacking.
So Ashley in the chat blames it on groupthink.
Well,
Well,
that too, the
definitely a hive mind.
sheep mentality, yeah, hive mind, whatever you want to call it. Like Michelle says sheeple or sheep, I say tribal, Ashley says groupthink. It's all kind of part of the same thing. And that is the problem.
It is. I mean, because again, to me, it comes down to an effort thing. For you to break out of the group, to have an individual thought, that takes effort. And
Well, it's
unfortunately,
scary too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it most certainly is. Yeah, I'd mentioned on the pre-show this morning how I watched this business professional. I watched him do a 3-hour Q&A over the weekend, and it struck me that all of the people who were calling in were like first generation to America.
Yeah.
Everybody who's here, who's gotten fat and lazy, they're all like scared to go out on their own and try something new and different because it's scary and it's work and they don't want to put in that work. That's just another area where it struck me that whatever it is you're doing in your life, you've got to put in the reps. I mean, I'm live on YouTube. What is it, like 29 hours a week now or something like that? I don't remember the math, but it's a lot. But it's me putting in the reps to keep getting better and better, and to have some independent thoughts and some independent ideas and all of that kind of thing that can help me break out from the rest of the herd, not only here, but in my life.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, most people aren't wired that way, which is how you can have things go really bad in a society and nobody's going to stand up and say, hey, we need to stop. Now, again, I'm talking in absolutes. Yes, there are people who are going to stand up, but because the majority is not behind them, those people will find themselves disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there's power in numbers. If society realized, especially in the United States where there's a gun behind every blade of grass, if they realized where the true power was, which is with the people, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
All of our problems would end really, really quickly.
They would.
But they don't realize that because, it's tough to have a thought and it's tough to put in the work to make a thought happen, to turn it into reality, to move it from your brain to the real world.
Being a contrarian can be very frightening. And it's a role that I've sort of fit into over the years, and I kind of enjoy it and embrace it, but very few people are that way. A lot of people just like to kind of go with the flow.
Oh, I thrive with it. Give me the opposite of what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah.
Because quite honestly, it's often a clearer path.
Well, again,
everybody else is clogging the other lane.
If we're going back to this
path.
To sports analogies, when I look at how the public is betting on something, you generally should go against it because the public, there's a reason that casinos continue to build these high-rise hotels because they know how to set these lines. And if the public is going along with it, chances are they're mostly wrong, and my light went out too. So how about that?
Good. Just in time for the next segment.
Cool.
So this will be true or false in the dark, I guess.
In the dark. I'll use a backup light, and that would be my phone.
Oh, we can see you fine.
There. I mean, it doesn't make much difference, but a little bit.
All right. I think he's wired up now.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we've finished the thoughtful part of the evening, and now we get to see what the boys do under completely unnecessary pressure. And let's go to the lightning round.
Well, thank you for framing it as completely unnecessary pressure. That makes me real excited. So if you're new to the show, here's the deal. This is our true false round. We have 5 questions which are true or false. We have 3 minutes each for Beth to read it to us, and then for us to dissect them and figure out if it's true or if she's lying to us. Half the time she's lying to us, but shall we?
We shall.
Great Granny, false. We haven't even started yet. All right, ready?
Yes.
All right, go.
Your brain cells actually shrink slightly while you sleep.
That's probably why I feel so stupid in the morning.
Is it a blood flow thing? I wonder.
That sounds like one of those things that's just kind of true. Like that just sounds, just analyzing the question itself, it just seems it's innocuous enough that would be true. And trying to figure out, blood flow. I don't know.
Can a cell shrink without like imploding and creating a nuclear event?
Nuclear reactor going to the 3 Mile Island in the brain.
That would explain a lot of people.
It really would.
Maybe that's the problem. With
Why
Seriously,
do you keep
though,
giving me these biology questions? You know it's not my jam.
Sorry.
Which is probably why you do it.
I give you a variety of questions each show.
Yeah, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
Sort of. So, are you true on this one, Michael?
I'm going to say true.
All right, I'm going to be contrarian and be false. Do we need the extra minute and a half, or are we just going to lock it in?
I think I'll lock it in. I think it's true.
Me too. False.
Okay, it's true.
All right.
Yay.
While we sleep, brain cells actually shrink slightly, which creates more space between them. That extra space allows cerebrospinal fluid to flow more freely through the brain and wash away waste products that build up during the day. Scientists call this product the glymphatic system, which sounds like lymphatic system. It's roughly the same thing. It's just in the brain. So it's like the brain's nightly wash cycle.
Damn it, I knew this. I actually knew this and completely forgot about it.
So
it's brainwashing.
Yeah.
Literally.
So think of it like tiny little janitors come out at night with brooms and hoses, washing away metabolic debris that builds up while you're awake. And researchers now believe this cleaning process is one of the reasons sleep is so important for brain health. When people are chronically sleep deprived, the brain might not clear waste as efficiently, which means when you stay up all night, your brain's cleaning crew never really gets their shift.
So a dirty mind means two things.
It does.
Huh.
That really explains a lot about me.
But I've actually, once you went through it all, I actually knew that. I totally forgot about it, which means my brain probably needs a good wash.
Yeah.
It's not brand new, but it's a fairly new thing, like within the last decade that scientists discovered.
I'd read that somewhere. I don't remember where. Interesting. All right. Number 2?
Yeah.
Go.
The human body cannot survive exposure to more than 1 million volts of electricity.
False. Lightning.
Yeah. The voltage is not necessarily what kills you. It's the amperage that kills you. It's the amplitude. So yeah, I mean, people are struck by lightning, and really, you have an 80% chance of living when you're struck by lightning. Now, I don't recommend going out and holding up a golf club and tempting fate in a thunderstorm, but you have a pretty good chance of surviving. Now, what's your quality of life going to be after surviving? Well, mixed, but yeah. So I'd say, it's.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not volts, it's amps. I mean,
yeah.
Your car runs off a 12-volt battery with enough amperage to turn over a large piece of machinery inside it to get it started.
The amplitude of the wave is going to be, because even, low voltage but high amplitude can easily kill you.
Yep. So, yeah. That's false for me. You, Michael?
Yes. Correct. Right. False.
Locked in.
You guys got this one straight away. Voltage by itself doesn't determine whether electricity is deadly. What matters more is the electrical current measured in amps and how long that current flows through the body. Lightning bolts can contain hundreds of millions of volts, yet people do occasionally survive lightning strikes. That's partly because lightning lasts only a tiny fraction of a second, often just a few milliseconds, and much of the electrical energy can travel over the surface of the body in what's called a flashover effect rather than directly through vital organs. So while electricity can absolutely be lethal at much lower voltages, under the right circumstances, the number of volts doesn't alone determine survival. Which means surviving a lightning strike isn't about how low the voltage is. It's about an incredibly brief burst of extremely high energy. Currents as low as 0.1 amps through the heart can actually be fatal.
There you go.
And there is, if you want to sign up for the notes to the show, there is a man who is in the Guinness Book of World Records, and he has been struck by lightning 7 times.
7 times, yep.
So if you want to read about him, I got him listed in my sources.
So yeah, itbshow.com. Go over there after the show and sign up for the emails if you're not already getting them, because we send out the show notes after every show. All right, what are we on, number 3?
Number 3.
Ready?
Mhm.
Go.
Some beetles defend themselves by creating a small chemical explosion inside their bodies and firing the hot spray at predators.
That sounds beetleistic to me.
It's, yeah. Sounds like something that would be either in National Geographic or on Pornhub. It's
It's probably both.
So I think it's true.
Beetle porn is a horrible thing. The addiction of our time.
All about the hot spray.
Gives a new meaning to Beetlejuice.
Just stop.
Oh man.
So as we all sigh. This might as well be true. I mean, we've seen small creatures do crazy things like that one shrimp that
Yeah.
creates like a small nuclear event when it punches.
Yeah.
It's like the power of a red hot sun for a millisecond. Yeah, I'll say true. You, Michael?
I would say true as well, because nature be scary.
Yeah, might as well be. All right. That is one of your rules, I think, too, is nature be scary.
It is.
All right. All right. Yeah, true.
It is true.
Okay.
It sounds like something that was invented by a cartoon villain, though. They're called bombardier beetles. They store 2 separate chemicals inside their bodies: hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. When the beetle is threatened, those chemicals mix in a special reaction chamber along with enzymes that trigger a violent chemical reaction. The result is a rapid boiling spray of irritating chemicals that shoot out of the beetle's abdomen at temperatures close to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So basically boiling water. The beetle essentially defends itself by detonating a tiny chemical reactor inside its own body and blasting predators with a hot chemical spray. Nature looked at insects and apparently decided, let's give this one a built-in flamethrower.
I remember bombardier beetles in the Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition monster manual. I didn't think that was a real thing.
Apparently it is.
Apparently it is. Are ant kegs also real? You guys are nerds.
But yeah, tiny little beetle, 212 degrees. I'm surprised those things aren't running around our backyard. They sound like they should live in Arizona,
That
don't they?
sounds like a desert creature.
It does. Well, they're definitely in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Except
Except in Australia, they're like this big.
I was going to say they're the size of your head.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
they climb
I'm going
into
to shoot
the
my
kangaroo's
boiling
pouch.
shoots at you. But oh no, then you're going to die if I do that. You know what?
Oh no.
All right. All right, on from shooting boiling juices. Number 4. Go.
Saturn would sink in water because it is a massive planet.
False. Saturn would float. I don't remember why, but I know this is fact. Saturn is a floaty planet.
Saturn is a gas giant, so yeah, it should.
Saturn lacks the density. It floats.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you'd be crushed to death on Saturn, absolutely, because of the sheer volume of gas. You know, that once you're in there, absolutely, just like Jupiter. But in terms of the planet as a whole, no, it's just a big ball of gas. Frozen gas, but
you need a massive lake to be able to displace it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lake that massive. But in theory, yes, it would float. It would not sink. My answer is false, and I would lock that in. You, Michael?
I would agree.
All right.
It is false.
Yay.
Even though Saturn is enormous, the average density is actually lower than water. Saturn's density is about 0.69 grams per cubic centimeter, while water has a density of 1 gram per cubic centimeter.
Ashley just put that stat in the chat.
Did she? Okay. Because objects float or sink based on the density, not total size or mass, Saturn would technically float if you could place it in a body of water large enough.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yep.
Okay.
But the bathtub or the pool or the lake or whatever would have to be roughly 60,000 miles wide. So good luck finding that.
Oh, it's probably out there somewhere.
I think it's at Lowe's.
It's out in the garden center.
Yeah.
One of those plastic ponds.
One of those huge planters.
It's huge.
It's the part that closed off during COVID.
All right, number 5, I think we're on to now. Yes,
we're on the final question.
The final question is often interesting, so let's see where this goes.
Ready?
Yep.
During the Victorian era, some parents used medicines containing morphine or opium to help their children sleep.
Oh, yeah. All day long.
I don't even need my rule. I don't even need my rule book here. Even though
morphine, opioids, and red flannel. Those were the 3 ingredients.
Yes. Yes, I would say this is absolutely true. I mean, it's from, before the 17th century. It is stupid. So of course it's true.
Yeah, I mean.
But it's true because I also kind of know about, I've heard about this, so.
Well, we still do little hacks like that now. I mean, we'll rub whiskey on a baby's gums when it's, cutting teeth.
Yeah.
Or we just.
Or we'd rub morphine on it if we had it, but.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I'd buy that all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean.
That might actually be a double true.
Double true, yes. Ye old Joe's house of meth back then. I'm sure you could just get maybe it was house of opium back then.
It was actually, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been rebranded in recent years.
Dost thou wish to have some opium, sir?
Oh, I need to write that down. Joe's house of opium. 17th century vibe. New merch. Okay. We locked in?
Yes.
Tell us we're right.
You're right.
Yay.
It's true, and it's one of the more shocking examples of how different medicine used to be used. During the 1800s, a number of over-the-counter soothing syrups were marketed to help calm crying babies and help children sleep. Some of these products actually contained morphine, opium, or alcohol. One famous example was Mrs. Winslow's soothing syrup, which was widely used by parents to quiet teething infants. At the time, people didn't fully understand the dangers of these drugs, and the products were sold without the kind of safety regulations we have today. So yes, in Victorian times, a fussy baby might literally be given a medicine containing opiates to help them sleep, which means the phrase "put the baby to sleep" used to be a lot more literal than it is today.
Is your baby fussy? Get a bottle of Dr. McGuttry's Soothing Bitters. Yeah.
Yep. Plug it. Shut it up.
Now with 20% more morphine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't imagine why the average lifespan was like 32 years old. I can't figure that out.
Well,
of course,
when I was
it's not like we're superior nowadays because we just put stuff into our body that isn't even on the periodic table yet. It's just like some random stuff that they just cooked up in a lab yesterday. They're like, yeah, let's give them this. Are you sure we should? Why not? Yeah, sure. So
yeah, we had a modern example of that just a few years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, heavens. Yeah.
So when I was doing the research for this, it was actually, I don't want to say funny because that sounds horrendous, but there were already wide reports of infant mortality because of this, and people were still buying it and giving it to their children, despite the fact that it became widely known that it was problematic.
no, you were right.
Because as we talked about, it's easier to just go along and ignore the problem. And
yeah.
See, things don't change.
No.
And we somehow just tied the true false round back to our other topics again.
Yes. That was done on purpose, wasn't it?
Maybe.
You never know. I don't know. I struggle every day to decide whether or not Beth does things purposefully or spitefully or randomly. I don't know what the correct word there is, but
a little from column A, column B. Yeah, I mean, just kind of a mixed bag, but it works out well. I mean, that's why this show works.
Yeah.
Whether it's intentional or not, maybe this show is just accidentally good, but hey, it's the old saying. My dad used to, I'd rather be lucky than good.
Nah, I'd rather be good. But bad's so much fun. I don't know.
I mean, well, there's that too. I mean, but hey, lucky people win the lottery, Dan. I mean, good people,
That's true.
Yeah, they make their.
Do you know anybody who's ever actually won the lottery?
I don't. Michelle does.
Really?
Yep.
Like really won it, not just like a
yes.
Four numbers.
She won. Her friend won $92 million.
Ooh.
In Idaho or something like that back in the early 90s.
Okay.
So I only know someone that's won like
confirmed winner.
Yes. I've gotten 4 numbers on the pick before. I thought, man, when I saw that, it's that thing, like you play the lottery, like one of the first times the same thing happened to my dad. I swear the lottery does this on purpose. Like the first time you play it, man, the drawing, the first 4 numbers out of the chute, you got them, you go, this is easy. Here we go. I'm a millionaire. Then, you wind up getting like $82, which, that's fine. But, 2 million would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
The house always wins in the end.
Yes.
All right. On that note, I believe that is the end of the show, but we'll do it again Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yes.
4 p.m. Pacific. I lose track of what I'm doing. But we'll be back then, and go to itbshow.com again, sign up for the emails if you're not already getting them. That way you get the show notes. You can also donate, and you can also get our official Joe's House of Meth t-shirt over there. We highly recommend that as well.
Next show, we'll have to put that back behind Michael again.
Oh, yeah. I'll put it up. Yes, we'll put it back in the background.
It adds a certain level of class to the program.
It does. It looks, it's a very well designed logo that they have there for Joe's House of Meth. And so
Joe spared no expense. All right,
course.
folks. We'll be back here again Wednesday. We'll be back. I will be back anyways tomorrow morning over at the Courtroom Files, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. And Michael will have his Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion video at some point tomorrow. He never guarantees a time, but it'll be there because he works 7 days a week.
I do.
So,
And we also
for some
have
reason.
sidebar tomorrow.
and we have sidebar tomorrow night too. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can catch both of us there. That is over on TCF.
11 to 8 hours of programming.
Yes. So join us for any of that, and we'll see you all again later. Bye.
Bye.